I think we're just starting straight away. And here we go, gents. It's a very good evening to you, and a very good evening to you, our viewers with Mrs. Join us live right now on your news network, ZimI. And tonight we have a few people joining us around the demonstrations in Lusaka, Zambia. Some that we see on the picture here. I'm hoping that the screen will show us some of these pictures, demanding a reversal of the chairmanship of Mr. Emerson Monangagwa at the SADC SUM, excuse me, the SADC summit today ongoing has been taking place between the 11th and the 12th of July in Lusaka. And the screamer reads there, Sadc Save Zimbabwe. We have joining us tonight here a panel. We should be getting also the gents coming in shortly. Some of them that you see holding these placards in Lusaka. Here we are of yours witnesses. We have here Chief Sose. This is Tawanda Jokora, and we have Dr. Masimba Mafaza, and we have our analyst Wilbert Mukori joining us. Good evening, gents. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah,
Good
we
evening,
can.
Simba,
Good evening.
and good evening, Zimbabwe.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, here we go. We're going to start straight away by having Dr. Masimba Mavaza throw his rendition from his latest article, in which he responds to the demonstrations that we have seen, the broadcasts. And let us hear him. We're going to give him 3 minutes to just offload what is on his chest around what he sees of this demonstration in Lusaka. Dr. Mavaza, shoot.
Thank you very much, and welcome again, Zimbabwe. I could say, in short, for any person to go and demonstrate in a foreign land against your own country, it's very depressing and quite pathetic that we have got people with such a mentality who believe that they can go and talk about their country badly in another country. By going to Zambia, which of course I would say, Simba, it has been a big flop. They were lying about thousands of people going to demonstrate. Ended up having very few people. They managed to put a petition, which will be largely ignored, and nothing much. But the reality of the matter here is, let us look at these facts. When there is a problem in your country, you must demonstrate in your country. And there is no country on earth which has no laws to govern demonstrations. Just follow the laws of that country. If you don't, then you won't be able to demonstrate. And secondly, the purpose of the demonstration is quite embarrassing. The Triple C people and the opposition and whoever wants to call himself opposition are quite an embarrassment to ourselves, to Zimbabwe, and to themselves. One, you cannot demonstrate that Zimbabwe should not be given the chairmanship when their 10 has arrived. The chairmanship of SADC organization is not by election. It's not by popularity. It is by the constitution of the SADC. It is by the mandate of SADC. It simply means every end of a period, another country takes the chances of running of becoming the chair. So it's not like you have voted for it. And therefore, when the 10 comes for Zimbabwe, regardless of how many people hate Zimbabwe from within, that does not change. That cannot be substituted. That cannot be lifted. So it's actually going out there and asking to say, can you please move a mountain from A to B? Some things cannot be moved. Some things cannot change. So the only reason why the opposition members are running up and down in Zambia uh, calling the embarrassment, calling it a demonstration. The only reason is because some people, they are benefiting, they are being paid for it, they are being paid by their masters. So that's the way they do to look for money. In reality, Simba, it's quite embarrassing to hear. I know we'll be hearing in a minute Mr. Jokora trying to support such a pathetic situation of demonstrations. You cannot embarrass your own country for the sake of your internal wars. We must fight our democratic issues in Zimbabwe democratically. We must show our dislike of ZANU-PF by going to the vote and vote against it. But you don't do that by going to a foreign land and demonstrate against your own country. It is so embarrassing. In other countries, in a country like England, where I am now, if you go outside England and demonstrate against England outside England, you will not be allowed to come back. Under the laws, you will be arrested. So is the so is in America. If you want to demonstrate against America, do it in America. If an American, you cannot go into a foreign land and talk bad about your country. So, as we have said, as you could see from the article which I have written, every country have got rules to govern the demonstrations, and therefore you cannot, in any case, go outside your country to attack your country from abroad. There is no difference between such people and terrorists. So, in summing up my 3 minutes, Simba, it is a shame. I would start by saying yesterday the demonstration was a flop, and again the Zambian police stood up to their name. They are Zambians. They are good neighbors. They stood up. They thwarted this unconstitutional, undemocratic, unreasonable the demonstration which was going to be done by these people. We don't even know Sadc
We're,
meeting is
we're,
going to
we're
be
gonna
done.
we're gonna ask you to roll down. Yeah,
Yes,
start
it's going to
rolling
be
down. Yes.
done from the 1st of August in Zimbabwe. Why don't you go and demonstrate in Zimbabwe? What do you think the meeting of ministers of foreign affairs? They have no decision to take in there. They cannot do anything with that petition or the demonstrations. So this is a waste of time, just a ploy to tarnish the good name of our president, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Dr. Mafasa. Our viewers, businesses, here we are. We're going to switch straight to let's go to Chief Sose, and then we'll end with Wilbert. Yeah, Chief.
Thank you, Simba. I don't know what to say to Dr. Mawaza because uh, he's just waffling. He knows that everything that he has said here is not the truth. He talks as if in Zimbabwe people are allowed to demonstrate. He knows very well that in Zimbabwe you cannot demonstrate. There is no right to demonstrate. If you just try to get in the streets, even if you gather somewhere, just like what Honorable Timber and the 78 did. They gathered in a private home, but they were still attacked by the police and some beaten up, some broken, some are with broken legs right now in jail. That's Zimbabwe for you. So there is no right to demonstrate, and it's no wonder why Zimbabweans end up demonstrating and try to find justice everywhere where they can find justice. And in any case, Simba, it is every human being's right to demonstrate. There's nothing that should make Dr. Mawaza or anyone wonder why Zimbabweans took it to Zambia to go and demonstrate. First of all, the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Zimbabwe was there. The Zimbabwean flag was flying high there. So, and Sadc is a part of Zimbabwe, and it is our right as Zimbabweans to go and confront Sadc, to go and tell Sadc that we are not happy about what is happening. And besides that as well, it is a universal right that is enshrined in the United Nations statutes, that every human being, I think it's Statute 20, that says that every human being has a right to protest, has a right to demonstrate. And we, as citizens of Sadc, we had every right to go to Sadc, where a Zimbabwean official, where a Zimbabwean minister was representing Zimbabweans. We had every right to be there. So I think that is very clear. The reason of a demonstration, which Dr. Mavaza is also rubbishing in his article, which is hogwash, is we were there to tell Sadc, to remind Sadc that you wrote a very damning report that was full of facts, that was very truthful, and we continue to thank Zambia for doing that, because it was a son of Zambia, Dr. Mumba, who established that report, of course, on behalf of Sadc. But it took guts for Dr. Mumba to be able to do that. So in that Siom report, he acknowledged that the Zimbabwean election was shambolic. Zimbabwean election was stolen. It was not free and fair. And he also acknowledged that that election was fraught with irregularities. So our reason for being there was to ask politely, Sadc, that why then are you making that very same person whom you acknowledged that he stole an election, why are you now giving him the chairmanship of Sadc? In a way, you are now actually rewarding Emerson Mnangagwa for stealing the Zimbabwean election, which was overwhelmingly won by President Nelson Chamisa. So that was the reason why we were there. We were not there demonstrating against Zimbabwe. Our anger was against Sadc, that they acknowledged a stolen election, and now they are rewarding that very same person again. And I know Dr. Mavaza would want to come here and tell Zimbabweans that that chairmanship is being given to Zimbabwe, not to an individual. That's fine, he can say that. But we've always maintained that we are the Zimbabwean citizens. We are the people. Zimbabwe is Zimbabwe because of us. Zimbabwe is so called because of Zimbabweans. And we, the people of Zimbabwe, we, the citizens of Zimbabwe, do not want the chairmanship of Sadc to be given to Zimbabwe at this point in time, because we want to deal with the issue of this stolen election first. And we also want Sadc to come in. We want Sadc to help. We want Sadc to fulfill what it said, what it wrote, it in its own report. And I don't think there's anything wrong about the people, because we are the custodians of everything that comes to Zimbabwe or goes out of Zimbabwe. We are saying we do not want this chairmanship that is coming our way. Let's deal with the stolen election first, and then we can talk about who can be chairperson. And the last thing that I want to deal with, the lies that he made, that the demonstration was a flop. The protest was not a flop. He is saying we had thousands of people. Yes, we had thousands of people. There were people that were waiting to be picked at different points. Some of them were already on their way. There are, as you know, students. We now have over 3,000 students just in Lusaka only, because there is no more meaningful education in Zimbabwe. People are going to Zambia to get what we can call a decent education. All those students know the reason why they are running away from Zimbabwe. They are running away from ZANU-PF and Emerson Mnangagwa. And they were all there. They all wanted to come and protest. But unfortunately, that demonstration was stopped. That's how we are interpreting it, because according to the information from the people that were on the ground, we had our chairperson, former chairperson from Namibia, former chairperson from South Africa, former chairperson from Botswana. They sent a letter, it was stamped, and that they were told that they could now go and demonstrate. We actually thought, personally, I did not disbelieve that, because one Gambagwe guy, it actually said that he was told by word of mouth that this is Zambia, you can just go and protest. And we said we are not going to do that. We are going to do everything that we can to ensure that we have something in writing. So when we were given that letter that was stamped, and we were told whether we were misinformed by one malcontent or by one police officer who could have been ignorant or not, we are not here to blame the Zambian police, but that's the information that was given by an individual that the demonstration had been given the green light. So to say the demonstration was a flop, it wasn't a flop. People were there, flyers, posters, everything had been well prepared. And as law-abiding citizens, we said we were not going to do something that has not been sanctioned. The Trust in Lovu and others were addressed by a senior police officer who was very courteous, and he explained that this is what they needed to do, and they could come back and protest tomorrow, which means today. So we remain thankful to the Zambian government for, of course, first of all, accepting our petition. It was the same, one of the senior police officers at the venue who actually directed our team to go where to go and present their petition. So why would you not be thankful to people like that? But I'll explain more on that as we go in the discussion. But it wasn't a flop. It achieved what it was meant to achieve. If you read the petition that we prepared, it's a well-detailed petition that is outlining all the problems that we are having in Zimbabwe that are coming as a result of a stolen election, which has been the perennial problem of Zimbabwe, that we have an election and that election is contested, and we have, continually have those cycles of contested election, which has put Zimbabwe to its stagnance right now. If you have an illegitimate president, if you have a president that has not been
I think
voted
it's
in
long
by
after
the
3 minutes.
people, you always know that there is nothing that is ever going to move in that country. Mr. Mnangagwa remains illegitimate.
Wilbert, you can
Right,
shoot.
right. Oh, thank you very much. Let's shift to Wilbert. Wilbert, how are you seeing this? Wilbert, you're an independent person. You're not connected. You don't seem to be connected to all this. You're based in the United Kingdom. Yeah. Do
Well,
you feel? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Your 3 minute, please. Yeah.
my presentation, Simba, will start. My starting point would be that everyone has the right to a peaceful demonstration. And it is absolutely important that we appreciate that. Freedom of expression, a free media, is absolutely vital to a functioning and healthy and functioning democratic system of government. We are aspiring to that. And to say that we should, somebody should be denied that right to have a peaceful protest, or for the media. I saw a video clip where Gambakwe was stopped by the police. I take it was the Zambian police, from doing a live stream. That is most unfortunate. That should not be allowed. As much as I do not agree with this protest and the demands they are making, I still maintain the position that they have the right to demonstrate. They have the right to be respected. Freedom of expression and freedom of the media are important. And on that issue, that is my position. But to come back to the demonstration itself, it's laughable that people like Mambo Shoshe there is keeping on wittering about the problem of rigged elections. It's a perennial problem, or it's a regular problem every election. The problem we have here is their making, the opposition's own making. Whether we like to admit it or not, the GNU of 2008 to 2013 was the golden opportunity for Zimbabweans to put this right, to sort out this mess of rigged elections. The 2008 elections were the watershed, and Sadc, and credit where credit is due, Sadc are the ones who were behind the global political agreement that gave birth to the GNU. And in this case here, it is laughable that after 5 years of the GNU, not even one token reform was implemented. And for the record, Sadc had a summit in June 2018 in which they advised Morgan Tsvangirai and his MDC friends, do not go into the Zimbabwe elections without reforms. That advice was ignored. And after those elections, Sadc had no option but to say those elections, fine, we accept them. Because what else did you want them to do? We can't keep on blaming Sadc for our own failings. That point must be made. This issue of Zokora and company saying, "Oh, we want Sadc to table the Sadc election observer mission report." To what end and purpose? They witnessed the election process and they condemned it. And the report is very clear on that point. But Sadc made the decision last year that they were not going to follow it up. They were not going to deny ZANU-PF political legitimacy. And to keep on hammering on the same point, well, we want you to table it again. To what end and purpose? They've already made that decision. Wrong or right, they've made that decision. And some of the media, like particularly Gambakwe, constant reporting that Sadc was reorganizing this. There would be fresh elections in June 2024 and so forth, which Sadc never said, is shameful. I talked of free media here. That kind of reporting is a shame. The media is not supposed to be misinforming people, and the media should not be misrepresenting Sadc. That point has got to be made. And I think I need also to emphasize one last point. Sadc's report was very clear. Those elections were not free, fair, and credible. But Dr. Mumba, in his follow-up interviews, he has made it also clear that the first thing that Zimbabweans should be focusing on now is to make sure that the flaws, the irregularities that were picked up in their report are implemented before the 2028 elections. That is what we should be focusing on. And to be focusing on, let's retable the report again, is to miss the point completely. Because 2024 will soon be around the corner. And it was none other than Chamisa himself who persuaded Zimbabwe to participate in last year's elections, claiming that he had plugged all the vote rigging loopholes. And the same people now are the ones who are saying the elections were shambles. Why did you participate? Why did you talk people into participating? You're the ones who talked people into participating. Sadc could not deny ZANU-PF political legitimacy, given that the opposition had participated in their numbers, given that Zimbabweans had participated in their millions, and millions more in the diaspora were cheering and applauding from the sidelines. We cannot blame Sadc for our own mistakes, for our own faults. And I think that point must be made. I totally agree with some of the views that have been expressed on the social media that Sadc, yes, they received the petition and filed it straight away. Bin. What else do you want Sadc to do? They've given you good advice. You don't take it. You insist that you have got, you're so clever, you can win, rig the elections. Sadc, let you go ahead. Then when you've lost the election, you turn around and say, oh, the elections were rigged. We can't have this cycle going on. We need to address that problem. The problem is the opposition sold out on reforms, and they've been participating in these flawed elections out of greed. That is the problem.
Right, Simba, let me go
Yeah.
first.
No. You have spoken. It's my turn. I won't be long. And again, it looks like we are piloting on our own here. But yes, thank you, Mr. Zokora, for what you've said, which I've listened to. And Wilbert, yes, I do agree for the first time with Wilbert. You have been speaking sense, and I applaud you for that. Because definitely,
Of
uh,
course, he's one of you.
there is no,
He is
there,
one of you.
there is no logic whatsoever for anybody to go and demonstrate and request the reversal of elections, which have almost been almost taken a year. It has been a year since the elections, and all along you still lying to people that there is hope that these elections will be reversed. That has never happened in the world, that elections done after a year, then they be reversed. So this lying to the people is not the first time that the opposition are doing. You have lied to the same people that you have come up with a very ambiguous plan to stop rigging, and actually you went ahead and preached and said God was in it. And we only realized that there was no God in it. It was actually you, but I don't know who was in it, because that plan, which was ambiguous, led to the dismissal, or rather the running away of the ambiguous leader to an ambiguity which nobody explains. So if we look at all these confusions, ambiguity, the depressing situations, they have been caused, Zokora, by the fact that Triple C does not listen. I agree with Wilbert. For the past 5 years, you were in Parliament during the new dispensation. There was not even one single day you have sponsored. You as opposition, you have sponsored a motion to do a very serious electoral laws reviews. Nothing. You talk about one or two things, and you have been quiet. And now you want to drag in Sadc into your confusion. Sadc is not there to talk about elections of a country. Sadc have got its mandate, which is going to go ahead with. And the appointment of Zimbabwe is not being appointed. It's actually being given its chance to chair the Sadc Troika this coming period when Sadc is in session. And the next one, it goes to the next country. So therefore, these noises you are making, these demonstrations you pretend to be making, they don't help. Now let me explain one point which you have not understood, Jogora. Yesterday, the demonstration was aborted because it was a no-show. Again, we saw the multitudes of people who came to demonstrate in the name of Gambakwe. And again, it's surprising you call Gambakwe a multitude of people. That is very silly. And again, if the opposition starts using Gambakwe as their source of information, guys, let's be serious. We are really, really, really having a very, very not serious opposition, using Gambakwe as their spokesperson, as their front runner, as their demonstrating tool, as their multitude, everything in one. Where do you think you are going? Where are you leading the people of Zimbabwe to? Why don't you be serious? Sit down, regroup, and come back as an effective opposition. We as ZANU-PF, we really want to have an effective opposition. Democracy is sweet when we are fighting with with a person, with a party which is purposed, which is good, which is reasonable. So if we have a party which is no party, we don't have democracy. We need democratic rights, Dragora. We need a serious opposition party. ZANU-PF needs people to contest with, not contest with ourselves. And therefore, Zimbabwe is being let down by the opposition. No amount of demonstrations in Zambia, England, any embassy you go and demonstrate, no amount of demonstrations can change the purpose. ZANU-PF is a train moving. It cannot be stopped by a penny. That was a folktale. It cannot be stopped by a golden eat a slogan. That was nonsensical. It will not be stopped by anything. But Zimbabweans have seen what a disappointment the opposition are. Zimbabweans have seen what is the problem. I'm actually surprised, Zokora, you haven't followed Chamisa to run away from the party. Chamisa has realized there is nothing coming out of opposition, and they ran away. And they left people like you and some few others to think that there's something going on. If you get back into parliament next time and you think there are problems in elections, you must start in parliament. Sponsor a motion to have the laws changed. Follow that up in parliament. Make the votes, make people
Let me
see
let
the
me let me cut you, Doc Mavasa. If you can roll, please, so that there can be a response because I think you've loaded quite a chunk there.
yes. So in summary, I'm simply
Chief,
saying
are you ready? Can
without
you shoot?
yeah, yes, as Zokora, if you're there, I want you to answer these questions. What have you done as a party to make sure the electoral laws have been reformed? And if you have not done anything, why do you think you can reform the electoral laws by a demonstration in Zambia and not by a motion in the parliament?
Right.
Yeah,
First of all,
Chief, yes, please,
yes.
Chief.
Yeah.
You are using. Here is a statement that you have got a spokesperson in the name, and as has been said here, and that's the first one. And then the second one is it relates to your demonstrations. Why are
What
you
did you say,
demonstrating in
Simba?
Zambia?
Simba, you're muffled a little bit. Simba, you're muffled. I
But
didn't
I
hear
think
what you said.
the first one there, yeah.
Simba is trying to tell you that
No,
your
the first one
spokesperson,
was relating to
pardon
your.
Gambakwe.
The first one's relating to your spokesperson. Your spokesperson.
Uh-huh. What did he say?
You,
Shoot.
What did my spokesperson say?
Your spokesperson is Pardon Gambakwe. How do you rely on him? Can you start talking from there? So time is
No,
running
no, no,
away.
no. No, 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 guys. We are a movement that is followed by millions of Zimbabweans that got 3 million votes. We are a serious movement. How do you say Gambagwe speaks on behalf of Triple C or the citizens of Zimbabwe? There is nothing like that. Gambagwe, I acknowledge him as a human being, and it ends there. He is a Zimbabwean. He is a brother, but we don't work with him, and he knows that. We appreciate the work that he does, but it ends there. We never went with any of his information. There was actually a time that there was circulation that the demonstration was going to be on the 13th. That was a lie. I don't know where that emanated from. He went to Botswana and gathered information, but even ourselves, in our planning for for this demonstration. We sent our own delegation to Sadc, and they collected information that gave us very reliable information that the meeting was actually on the 11th and 12th, not the misleading 13th that was being peddled on social media. And we planned our trip and everything, our protest in Zambia, based on the information that we got from our own people in Botswana. And they traveled. Some of them were actually are still there in Zambia. So please stop associating Mr. Gambakwe with Triple C or with the citizens or with myself, because that's not true. So he is not anybody's spokesperson, maybe other people. And then on the issue of elections, that my brother here, Wilbert, continually speaks about. It looks like he's being paid by ZANU-PF to peddle that, because that's his default statement. Whenever we are discussing here, he ends up on electoral reforms. He takes you back to 2008, to 2013, and 2015. Thank God you're speaking to someone who has a strong institutional memory. I'm part of the movement. I've been in there since its formation in 1999, and I know exactly the lies that you are peddling here. The Triple C, then MDC, has always fought for reforms. There is no political movement in Zimbabwe that has fought for electoral reforms other than the MDC then and now Triple C. Even after the GNU that he is always parroting about, that is Wilbert, we even went into another top gear to fight for electoral reforms. Hence, we formed the NERA, National Electoral Reform Agenda. That was an organization put together by the late Dr. Richard Morgan Tsvangirai, putting together all the political parties that were in Zimbabwe, the meaningful ones. There were 8 of them, and they came together so that they could fight for reforms. They also involved civic society, vendors, and all the other people in all the stakeholders in Zimbabwe. And together, we had the most vicious demonstrations that were done under the banner of NERA, fighting for reforms. And for someone now to then come here and say that the opposition has never done anything to fight for reforms, it's not right, because Wilbert knows that he is lying. Even when NERA was formed, he was the most critic of that formation. He would blast Morgan Tsvangirai the same way that he's blasting Nelson Chamisa today, saying that NERA was nothing. It was a toothless barking dog. It's useless. It's a waste of time. But that what you want the opposition to do. If we come up with a mechanism that is fighting for reforms, that is taking the ZANU-PF regime head on, that is taking ZANU-PF to court, even today, to go to Dr. Mavaza, he accuses the opposition of not having done anything about reforms. We have pushed a number, quite a plethora of initiatives, both in parliament and in court. Just go on Google and see how much President Chamisa, the Triple C, and then MDC have done in terms of wanting reforms in Zimbabwe. I don't know how many letters have been written by Ian Makon and Ellen Shiriedenga to ZEC challenging them on some of the electoral malpractices that we always see at each and every election. So to come here and tell the people of Zimbabwe that the opposition has not done anything, it is a glaring lie. And then going back to the demonstration, to the protest that you guys continually, both of you, and Wilbert is actually going on the side of Dr. Mavaza. I'm not surprised by that, saying that we should not have done that. And he acknowledges in this discussion that it is a right of everyone to go and protest if you are not happy. But he then contradicts himself and says it's useless. No, it's not useless, Mr. ZANU-PFB. We went to Sadc because we are dealing with Sadc here. We are not dealing with Zimbabwe. Dr. Mumba did not say what you said. Dr. Mumba outlined the malpractices that he saw during the elections. And after that, the right thing was supposed to be done. You nullify an election because there's been malpractices. You can't identify malpractices and irregularities and then you say, go on, now sit down and plan for the next election. That's not how it goes. Worldwide, it has been, I'll give you examples of countries that have had elections that have been deemed to be to have been mirrored with irregularities, and what they then did, they they nullified them. Kenya in 2017, they found that the election was fraught with irregularities and it was nullified. Malawi very recently also did that. Even your friends, Belarus, however you pronounce it, in 2020, the government rigged an election, just like ZANU-PF always does, and that election was reversed, and they had to do a rerun. Thailand in 2014, it was found that the candidate had rigged the reigning candidate had rigged an election, and that election had to be rerun. That's how you deal
Simba
with an
Dikonga
electoral
serious.
malpractice. Yes, I'm telling you the truth. The 2014 Thailand, go on Google, you see it. That election was reversed. And that's how
No,
you
Mr.
deal with
Zokora,
an
Mr.
electoral
Zokora,
malpractice.
we are talking about elections after 1 year. You cannot
No, no, no,
mention one
it doesn't
country.
matter. We were
Mention one
fighting.
country where
No,
elections were
Magaza, let me
reversed
round up.
after 1 year.
Let me round up. Let me round up. I didn't
I hope you
interfere when you were
round up.
speaking.
You've been talking to
we
yourself.
we 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 protested. We condemned the 2023 election on August 24, a day after the election had been rigged. We did not wait for a year and to start talking about that. Look at President Chamisa's record. How many times he has gone on record saying that this election was rigged? We did not wait until after 1 year. We have been fighting this rigged election and we will continue to fight it. It doesn't matter how long it takes, we will fight it.
That's what we are saying. Zokora. Sorry.
Can I just come in there, Mavasa?
Okay, go on.
I think I need to get this hammered in. Our friend here, Chief Soshe, talks of MDC, Triple C have implemented reforms. If the golden opportunity to implement reforms.
We don't implement reforms,
Let
Wilbert.
me
We
speak. I
don't.
didn't
The
interrupt
government
you.
implement reforms. The
So
opposition doesn't
listen, we are
implement
having a
reforms. Get
dialogue
that
here.
right.
Let
Don't lie
other
to
people
people.
speak. Let me speak, okay? The golden opportunity to implement reforms in Zimbabwe was during the GNU of 2008 to 2013. No meaningful reforms were implemented. And this is why Sadc had a meeting in 2013 saying, don't go to those elections without reforms. We are being told here, MDC has implemented reforms, all the reforms. So why are we
No.
having
Don't
these
lie, Wilbert. I
elections?
didn't say we implemented reforms. We
Yeah,
put
so
in
you
measures
didn't.
to
Okay, now
do.
you are
We
admitting
don't
that you
we
did
don't
not
implement
implement reforms.
reforms.
I
The
was
government does.
no, but so let me speak. I allowed you to speak. We should respect
But
other
don't
people.
lie. Don't lie like that.
Listen, you can correct me. If I'm wrong, you correct me. Don't try to interrupt me. If you have implemented the reforms, then why are we keeping on having these flawed elections? You did not implement reforms. Where would we need Nara if you had the 5 years during the GNU and you had done all the reforms that were required? Do you seriously believe that you're writing letters to Sadc will reform anything? Sadc is just another body. Sadc does not enact any laws. It's government's responsibility. And you want to now refer to Sadc. For what? What do you want Sadc to do? If Sadc is corrupt, Sadc will not reform itself. So why are we keeping on hearing all this nonsense about Nara? Nara what? What is Nara? What has Nara achieved? How many reforms has Nara implemented ever since it was launched by Dr. Richard Changirai? None. That's why we're having this reform, these rigged elections. We are not going to keep on going round and round in circles. Right now, all these demonstrations, you are demonstrating, if you want to tell me now you're carrying out these demonstrations in Zambia so that you can have reforms, that is the most idiotic argument I've ever
No.
heard.
This is too much. Stop lying, Wilbert. Stick to the facts. We
What
did not go to
is the
Zambia for
lie
reforms.
there? No.
No.
You
It's too much.
should let the other people speak. If I am lying,
Can you be honest?
if
Can
you
agree?
are demonstrating to achieve reforms, then demonstrating, even in Zimbabwe, even if you go back to Zimbabwe, India demonstrating outside the conference during the Sadc summit that is going to take place there. That is the wrong place to achieve reforms. What reforms are you going to achieve while they are demonstrating? Don't deceive people. When you speak to people like me, you should also realize that you're not speaking to some of your brain dead Triple C supporters. You cannot tell me you implemented reforms because I know you have not implemented any reforms. I've asked you on countless occasions. You claim that you've implemented reforms. Name one reform that you've implemented.
But I think
Right, Wilbert.
Wilbert,
It looks like we're veered off. No, hold on, Wilbert. It looks
but
like
Simba,
we're veered
before you
off
come in,
here from
Simba, before you
yeah,
come
but
in.
but we need to yeah.
No, I was saying, Simba, I think to be fair, Wilbert, there is no way an opposition party can implement reforms. They are not in power. They were supposed to raise it in parliament. They cannot implement anything if they are not in power. I think that's the point.
That's what I was about to say. Simba, you need to protect the people of Zimbabwe here.
Oh
Because
yes,
you are the mediator. Because you are letting Wilbert get away with a lot of lies. He has been
hold on.
lying and lying. Every sentence is
Hold
lying. After every
hold on.
sentence is lying.
Oh, hold on. The issue that we are on is mainly the demonstration at Sadc to block or reverse Emerson Mnangagwa's chairmanship. And I would like us to end on this, gents. If we can have each person here give us a 1 minute round around the reversal of Mnangagwa's chairmanship, why should it not happen, or why should it happen? And so give us your rendition on that. Doc Mavas.
Right. Firstly, the chairmanship should continue. It is going to happen anyway. It won't stop. Why? Because it is what is happening every time in SADC or any other international organizations. When there are turns to be taken, this is 10 for Zimbabwe. It has nothing to do with elections. It has nothing to do with what people think about Zimbabwe. It has nothing to do with what people believe is happened in.
Malaza, we have lost you there.
Simba, something has cut me off here.
Right,
Now we
yeah.
can
Looks
hear
like
you.
maybe it's the network or something.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you know. In short, there is nothing wrong with the President Mnangagwa to continue as the chairperson. And again, I would want Jokora to remember that it's not Comrade Mnangagwa who is going to be the chairperson. It's Zimbabwe as a country. So for anybody to go against Zimbabwe being the chair, leading chair country for this organization He's a person who is against the country. It shows how unpatriotic the opposition are by trying to talk down the idea of Zimbabwe to run its own chance. So I would say, in short, all those opposing the Zimbabwean chance of becoming becoming coach, the chairpersons of Sadc. They are unpatriotic, they are horrible, embarrassing, and they are not worthy to be called Zimbabweans.
Right. Okay, Chief. And you're saying these people are unpatriotic. Dogma Vasa was
Yes.
Mnangagwa patriotic when he called for war before Putin called for war on Zambia and Malawi.
Patriotism means being proud of your own country. Zambia is not his country, and therefore the patriotism does not come in that context. You have given a wrong question. The question is wrong. The example is wrong because he had never called war against his own country.
Right. Okay. Chief.
Yes, Simba, when we come to
I
discuss
think
in
Chief is
front of
gone.
Zimbabweans, we need to be
Wilbert,
truthful. We need to be honest. Can you hear me, Simba?
Can you hear
Yeah,
me
we can
perfectly?
hear you. We can hear you.
Okay,
I can't
yes.
hear anybody.
No, Mama Zambonyara wataura kudhara. You have spoken, you don't even need to be heard. And you don't even need to hear. Right. We need to come here and be honest and be truthful because what these gentlemen are doing, especially Wilbert, to come here and shun lie after lie and make false accusations after false accusations is not right. First of all, we did not go to Zambia to demonstrate to get electoral reforms in Zimbabwe. We went to Zambia to demonstrate against Sadc that we are against what they are doing to award Emerson Mnangagwa.
It looks like we've been cut here, gents. Where are you?
I think the chief is cut. Probably is. I think you can give Wilbert his
Yeah, I think it's
chance.
back now. Yeah, he's back now.
Can you hear him?
Yeah, Chief.
I think the chief is dead. I think give Wilbert his chance.
Well, my response to this one is very simple and very clear. I think when Chief is talking of, I said that you went to Zambia to demonstrate for reforms. I only was reacting to his statement that we've been fighting for reforms. And that I said to him is, if your demonstrations are fighting for reforms, then you're fighting in the wrong place. That was a direct response to his own statement. And
And
as for the issue of
that's correct.
implementing reforms, it is a historic fact that MDC guys have failed to implement reforms. And hence the reason why Zimbabwe is having these rigged elections. That is also a historic fact. I think we need to get away from this idea that Sadc is there to solve all our problems. We, the people of Zimbabwe, must solve our own problems. And I believe that Sadc, on this particular issue, is not responsible. Simba, you asked specifically the issue of can Mnangagwa's assuming chairmanship of Sadc be reversed. Personally, I do not see how that can be done because this position, if somebody else other than Mnangagwa was president, he was going to be chairperson of Sadc because it's part of this rotation that has been taking place. If Mnangagwa was going to be denied the chairmanship. Sadc, when they received the damning report on the election of August last year, they would have said that the decision then could see we cannot legitimize you as president with this kind of result. But that is a far-reaching decision. In this case here, they're denying him legitimacy of president of Zimbabwe. And having denied him legitimacy of the president of Zimbabwe, they could not confer on him the chairmanship of the organization. That point would make sense. But they were silent. That's why I was saying to you, once Sadc had read through the report, the damning report, and they decided not to deny the ZANU-PF regime legitimacy, that at that point, it was clear that Sadc was not going to do anything. And so to be pursuing it now, almost a year later, to be saying, well, we want the report still tabled, to me is ridiculous. Why would you want it retabled? What do you think you'll achieve by doing so? Nothing will be achieved by this. This is just another time marking by the opposition who do not want to address the real big burning issues in Zimbabwe, i.e., implementing reforms so that we can have free, fair, and credible elections. The big worrying thing is, and I want it for the record, is that we are looking at 2028 with no reforms implemented. Is Chamisa going to participate in those elections? Coming out with claims again that he has come up with strategies of stopping ZANU-PF rigging elections. And that's getting our friend here, Chief Swoswe and company, to participate in those flawed elections in their millions and giving the process legitimacy. Because that makes it very difficult for Sadc to deny ZANU-PF legitimacy if Zimbabweans have participated in their millions. That argument must be made, and must be made now. We don't want to get into 2028, you participate, and then when you have lost the elections, you turn around and say, oh, the election is flawed, and you blame Sadc. Blame Sadc for what?
Right.
Well, yeah, Chief, you can end. I think you had come in. I thank you, but
Yeah, no, yeah. I was just trying to correct the lies that Wilbert is feeding the people of Zimbabwe here, and it is not right. Um, you keep telling people that we went to Zambia to protest for electoral reforms. That is wrong. We went to Zambia to protest against the decision by Sadc to award Emerson Mnangagwa the chairmanship. Whether Mavaza says that is not the position is not being conferred to Emerson Mnangagwa, is being conferred to Zimbabwe or not, to us it doesn't matter. We the people of Zimbabwe, shouldn't we have a say? We are the people of Zimbabwe. We are the custodians of Zimbabwe. And we have agreed, we have said we do not want that chairmanship until the issue of a stolen election has been resolved. There's nothing peculiar about that, and there's nothing rubbish about that. That is people that are working on principles that Sadc condemned the election. They say the election was fraught with irregularities. They can't then leave it there. They have to do what happened in Kenya. We work with presidencies. We live in a life where we follow presidencies. It happened in Malawi. The election was nullified because there were irregularities. That is what must happen. We can't continue to go to an election and observers come, they give damning reports, and then it ends there. They leave it for the people of Zimbabwe to do it on their own. Yes, we have to do it on our own, but why are they there? When they have come, when they have observed the elections, and when they have noted irregularities, they must follow through. They cannot just leave it there. That's all we are saying. And that's all we were putting notice to Sadc that the way you are doing it now, it's like you are rewarding Emerson Mnangagwa for stealing an election. You should not be doing that, especially after looking at your report. So even the petition that we sent, we did not send it particularly to Zambia. Zambia was just a vehicle that allowed us to give the petition to Sadc, and we will remain thankful for the way they welcomed us. They directed us to the right offices, and today we confirmed that the Sadc report, the petition that we send has reached to where it is supposed to reach. They are looking at it right now, and we know we are supposed to get a response. They can't ignore their citizens. We are citizens of Sadc, and we have registered what we have registered, that we are not happy about A, B, C, D. A principled organization will respond. So we are expecting Sadc to act on the petition that we have sent to them. And then again, for Wilbert to keep going back to the issue of reforms, saying we have not implemented reforms. Yes, we have not implemented reforms. And I never said at any time that we implemented reforms. Changra implemented reforms or President Chamisa implemented reforms. We do not implement reforms. We come up with programs that must force any government, any meaningful government, to enact reforms. Even Emerson Mnangagwa himself, when he came in, he acknowledged the issue of reforms and he said he was going to enact reforms, which he never did. But even after that, even after NERA that you are condemning, President Chamisa came in and launched what is called Prepare. Go everywhere. We launched a document that had to do with elections, the pre-election pact on electoral and political reforms. When we have launched those programs, they do not just gather dust in the shelves of offices. They are taken to Parliament, Mr. Wilbert. They are taken to Parliament, Dr. Mavaza, and they are pushed in Parliament. And because we have dumb members of Parliament from ZANU-PF, which will obviously be having the majority, they never see the light of day. But it doesn't mean that President Chamisa did not do anything about reforms. It is not true. It is a lie. You are peddling lies, Wilbert. We have prepared. Go on social media, go on Google. You see a well-documented program of electoral reforms. That was also put to court. We have taken Sadc, we have taken the Zimbabwean government, the Minister of Justice to court so that they can do what they need to do about the electoral reforms. Most of them are already there. They are part of the constitution, the new constitution. They just need to be implemented. And who got them there? Who got them in that new constitution? It is us, the people of Zimbabwe, that you are accusing of not doing anything or of not having done anything with regards to electoral reforms. It's not right, Wilbert. You must learn to be honest. You must learn to be truthful. And as I finish, the Sadc demonstrations. I want to thank the champions that came all the way from Botswana using their own resources. For that matter, Trust in Lovu, Mr. Chambara from Namibia, Honorable Mavoko from Botswana, and many others that drove distances so that they could be in Zambia. And our champions in Zambia that welcomed them and that prepared everything that these champions were using, going to the police and making sure that we got a letter, we got a stamped letter, and everything that they did. We are thankful to what they did because we have revived the issue of the stolen election, and now Sadc is talking about it, and everyone is talking about it because of this. So to us, when we bring back the issue of the stolen election, which should never be forgotten, which people should never stop talking about. It doesn't matter, it has gone a year, it has gone 6 months, it has gone 2 years. If there was a stolen election, there was a stolen election. We'll continue to talk about it. That's the reason why you saw President Chamisa coming back to the people, and it's a lie that he has stopped politics like Dr. Mawaza was saying. He just stepped away from an infiltrated, heavily infiltrated Triple C, and now he is operating from where he is, preparing for the new, while Senator Timber are rounding up the old, and then the bridge to the new is going to be set, and we will be there. But he has not stopped doing politics. He came back and gave a feedback of what he has been doing with Sadc. So that's what we continue to do. We continue to fight. We don't say because a year has lapsed since an election was stolen and then we stop talking about it. No, we'll keep fighting for that stolen election, and we'll keep saying Emerson Mnangagwa is an illegitimate president and therefore cannot be conferred with the chairmanship of Sadc.
Thank you very much, Simba. Before we close, just to say, yes, Jokora, you are right when you said there is a well-written document in the social media. That's where you always make your noise. That's where you put your petitions. That does not help. A document in social media which is not in its rightful place, which is not before parliament, which is not before the president, it is not a document. And it's quite embarrassing that you can speak so loudly and boldly and at the end of the day saying nothing. Because to be honest with you, it has been a waste of time for you guys to go to Zambia and demonstrate for reforms. You must demonstrate in Zimbabwe. You must raise your issues with Zimbabwe. And I would say to all Zimbabweans in Zambia who did not join this pathetic and flopped demonstration, thank you very much for your patriotism. Remain resolute. Zimbabwe is the only country which we can call ours in the whole world. And Pastor Mandu, have a happy Sabbath, and thank you very much.
Dogma Vaza, thank you very much. Chief Jose, Wilbert Mugori, thank you very much for the time, folks, and thank you for your closing remarks. Here we are. This is our
Thank you,
quick
Simba, and
discussion
thank
around.
you,
Yeah,
citizens.
Thank you, Simba. Thank you,
thank you.
Seguru. Thank you, Wilbert. Bye bye and out.
Thank you, Simba. Good night.
Vasanyatwi kana kuti ndimi muri kunzi ami general Sanyatwi. Muromo wamuri kutaura uyu muri kutaura makamira papi? Nhaiva Sanyatwi, muri ami yaani? Muri ami yaMnangagwa here kana kuti muri ami yevanhu? Kana muchitaura muromo wamuri kutaura kuti ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen, muri kureveiko nhaiva Sanyatwi? Mari yamuri kutambira iyo taxpayers money. Vanhu vari kukutambirisai, haisi mari yaMnangagwa kwete, imari yevanhu ivavo vamuri kutyidzira. Muchivatyidzira nekuti imimi muri musoja. Hazvishande zvichidaro kuti muve pachigaro ipapapa. Muri suppose kunge muri ami yevanhu muchichengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nemapati ematongerwo enyika kwete. Muromo muri kutaurawo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Muri kutaura makamira papi naimi ami komanda imi? Muri kuziva here zvamuri kutaura? Mari yamuri kudya iyi kumba kwenyu imari yamuri kubhadharwa nevanhu, hamusi kubhadharwa naMnangagwa. Taxpayers money, ende vanhu vamuri kutyidzira ivava ndo vari kukubhadharai. Makutaura miromo yemangamanga, maguta. Maguta manje mari yevanhu. Muri kutaura miromo kuti hanzi ani chakutongai muchida musingadi. makamirira ani naimi? Muri ami yaaniko? Muri ami yaMnangagwa here kana kuti muri ami yevanhu? Munopenga here imi misasanyatwe? Munopenga here? Ndekupi makambonzwa zvichinzi masoja anopindira matongerwo enyika? Kuno kwatiri kuAmerica masoja hataure nezvematongerwo enyika. Imimi makazviona kupi? Nekuti makagadzikwa ipapa naMnangagwa mudzvinyirira ari kudzvinyirira vanhu. Ndosaka muri kutaura muromo iwoyo. Ende muri kukanganwa kuti mari yamuri kutambira imari iri kubva kuvanhu, haisi mari yaMnangagwa. Mnangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapo, haasi kukutambirisai anything. Aiwa, mari yamuri kutambira imari yevanhu vamuri kutyidzira ivavo, muchivatyidzira kuti ZANU ichatonga. Makamirira kupi? Makamirira ZANU kana kuti makamirira vanhu? Mr. Sanyatwe, muri suppose kunge muchimirira vanhu, muri ami yevanhu, hamusi ami yaMnangagwa kwete. Mnangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapa, kana makaiswa pachigaro hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchidzvinyirira vanhu, munofanirwa kuonekwa muchiprotekta vanhu. Mnangagwa mudzvinyiriri, ndiye wamakumira naye muchitanzi ZANU ichatonga musingade muchida. Muri kutaura chiiko kana muchityidzira vanhu nemuromo yamuri kutaura naye imimi? Hamunyari here imi? Mumborani pamuri ipapa? Mumborani? Kana vanhu vakati havachakudai nhasi, munokwanisa kuenda. Mr. Sanyatwe, muchatiza pachigaro ipapa pavanhu kana vapanduka. Munobatiza nemiromo yamuri kutaura iyi, munoikanganwa maakutiza. Kana vanhu vapanduka, muchatiza chete, muchida musingadi. Mr. Sanyatwe, muri kushandiswa imi neZANU, muri kushandiswa kudzvinyirira vanhu, muchitaura miromo yakadaro yekutyidzira vanhu kuti ZANU ichakutongai chete, muchida musingadi. Mumboraniko imimi? Mari yevanhu, vanhu ndo vari kukutambirisai mari yamuri kudya kumba kwenyu. Maguta manje maakutanga kutaura zvisina nebasa rose. Kutaura madhodha amuri kutaura iwayo, hamunyari here munhu mukuru? Munopavha chete musingadi, muchida musingadi, muchatopa, munopatiza chete. Vamwe venyu tichaona vachikwira ndege kutiza vanhu kana vapanduka. Vanhu vachakupandukirai, Mr. Sanyatwe, vachakupandukirai vanhu. Chinobhururuka chinomara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo. Muromo muri kutaura Mr. Sanyatwe, hamufanirwe kunge uchitaurwa nemi. Kana muri masoja evanhu, hamusi masoja epati imimi. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nepati kwete. Muri masoja evanhu, muripo kuchengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Ende vanhu ava ndo vari kukutambirisai mari pachigaro chaminacho ichocho icho. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo, muri kutaura muromo wamanga-manga. Vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi wavanopanduka, mese muchamhanya imi. Muchamhanya imi vanhu kana vapanduka. Kana pfuti dzamuri kutemba nadzo muchadzisiya, nekuti vanhu vanenge vapanduka. Mr. Sanyatwe, vanhu vachakubatai. Richasvika zuva racho iroro. Musafunga kuti hapana zvinomboitika. Aiwa, musaone vanhu vakanyarara vakati mukafunga kuti havasi kuona zvamuri kuita. Vari kuzoona zvese, asi zuva racho richasvika. Kana rasvika zuva racho iroro, vazhinji venyu vachamhanya. Ende vanosara vari muno vachaenda kumajeri nenyaya dzamuri kuita dzekudzvinyirira vanhu. Mari yenyika ichibiwa, imi muchisapota izvozvo izvo. nekuti muri ZANU. ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro. Vanhu ndovanotonga ende vanhu vachatonga. Musambozvikanganwa izvozvo. Musazvikanganwe kuti vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi uchapanduka, vanhu vazhinji venyu vachatiza, vachabuda munyika, ende vanosara vari munyika muno vachaenda kumajeri. Mr. Sanyatwe, musazvikanganwe izvozvo. Musambozvikanganwa zvenyu muchifunga kuti hanzi hatichagara apa forever. Hamupagara apa forever. People are coming for you and they will get you. Vanhu vachauya vari kukutsvagai, vanhu vari vakamirira zuva racho chete. Zuva racho richasvika rokuti vanhu vese vachatsamwa, vachabuda mudzimba, ende imi muchatiza. Mr. Sanyatwe, muchatiza namunangagwa wenyu ari kudzvinyirira vanhu. Muchatiza mese vanhu vezANU, muchatiza. Musazikanganwe izvozvo. Tiri kukuyambirai. Chinobhuruka chinomhara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Chese chisingaperi chinoshura. Hapana chisingaperi kunze kwaMwari. Ndiye chete, ndiye musika akatisika tese, ndiye anotonga, ndiye anoziva kuti redu ramangwana rakamira sei. Saka imi musazozvikanganwa kuti kuna Mwari. Muri kuzoona muri kuzviita vana Mwari imimi. Muri kuzviita vana Mwari. Mwari ariko, ari kukuonai zvamuri kuita nana munangagwa wenyu ivava. Muchamhanya chete, Mr. Sanyatwe. Muchamhanya chete, muchida musingade muchamhanya chete. Miromo yenyu yamuri kutaura kuti ZANU ichatonga. Zvichapera zvese izvi. Zvichapera. Zvichapera, Mr. Sanyatwe. Ndakutaurirai kuti muchamhanya chete. Muchida musingade muchamhanya. Ndapedza. Vasanyatwe, kana kuti ndimi muri kunzi Army General Sanyatwe. Muromo wamuri kutaura uyu, muri kutaura makamira papi? Naiva Sanyatwe, muri army yaani? Muri army yamunangagwa here kana kuti muri army yevanhu? Kana muchitaura muromo wamuri kutaura kuti ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen, muri kureveiko naiva Sanyatwe? Mari yamuri kutambira iyo taxpayers money. Vanhu vari kukutambirisai. Haisi mari yamunangagwa kwete, imari yevanhu ivavo vamuri kutyizira. Muchivatyizira nokuti imimi muri musoja. Hazvishande zvichidaro. Kuti muve pachigaro ipapa muri suppose kunge muri army yevanhu, muchichengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nemapati ematongerwo enyika kwete. Muromo muri kutaurawo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Muri kutaura makamira papi naimi army commander imi? Muri kuziva here zvamuri kutaura? Mari yamuri kudya iyi kumba kwenyu imari yamuri kubhadharwa nevanhu, hamusi kubhadharwa namunangagwa. Taxpayers money, ende vanhu vamuri kutyizira ivava ndo vari kukubhadharai. Makutaura miromo yemangamanga, maguta. Maguta manje mari yevanhu. Muri kutaura miromo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatongai muchida musingadi. Makamirira ani naimi? Muri army yaaniko? Muri army yamunangagwa here kana kuti muri army yevanhu? Munopenga here imi Mr. Sanyatwe? Munopenga here? ndekupi makambonzwa zvichinzi masoja anopindira matongerwo enyika? Kuno kwatiri kuamerica masoja hatauri nezvematongerwo enyika. Imimi makazviwana kupi? Nekuti makagadzikwa ipapa naMnangagwa mudzvinyirira ari kudzvinyirira vanhu. Ndosaka muri kutaura muromo iwoyo. Ende muri kukanganwa kuti mari yamuri kutambira imari iri kubva kuvanhu, haisi mari yaMnangagwa. Mnangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapo, haasi kukutambirisai anything. Aiwa, mari yamuri kutambira imari yevanhu vamuri kutyidzira ivavo, muchivatyidzira kuti ZANU ichatonga. Makamirira kupi? Makamirira ZANU kana kuti makamirira vanhu? Mr. Sanyatwe, muri suppose kunge muchimirira vanhu, muri ami yevanhu, hamusi ami yaMnangagwa, kwete. Mnangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapa, kana makaiswa pachigaro hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchidzvinyirira vanhu, munofanirwa kuonekwa muchiprotekta vanhu. Mnangagwa mudzvinyiriri, ndiye wamakumira naye muchitanzi ZANU ichatonga musingade muchida. Muri kutaura chiiko kana muchityidzira vanhu nemuromo yamuri kutaura naye imimi? Hamunyari here? Mumborani pamuri ipapa? Mumborani? Kana vanhu vakati havachakudai nhasi, munokwanisa kuenda. Mr. Sanyatwe, muchatiza pachigaro ipapa vanhu kana vavapanduka. Munobatiza nemiromo yamuri kutaura iyi, munoikanganwa maakutiza. Kana vanhu vapanduka, muchatiza chete, muchida musingadi. Mr. Sanyatwe, muri kushandiswa imi neZANU, muri kushandiswa kudzvinyirira vanhu, muchitaura miromo yakadari yekutyidzira vanhu kuti ZANU ichakutongai chete, muchida musingadi. Mumboraniko imimi? Mari yevanhu, vanhu ndo vari kukutambirisai mari yamuri kudya kumba kwenyu uku. Maguta manje maakutanga kutaura zvisina nebasa rose. Kutaura madhodhi amuri kutaura iwaya, hamunyari here munhu mukuru? Munopavha chete musingadi, muchida musingadi, muchatopa, munopatiza chete. Vamwe venyu tichaona vachikwira ndege kutiza vanhu kana vapanduka. Vanhu vachakupandukirai, Mr. Sanyatwe, vachakupandukirai vanhu. Chinobhururuka chinomara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo. Muromo muri kutaura Mr. Sanyatwe hamufanirwe kunge uchitaurwa nemi. Kana muri masoja evanhu, hamusi masoja epati imimi. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nepati, kwete. Muri masoja evanhu, muripo kuchengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Ende vanhu ava ndo vari kukutambirisai mari pachigaro chaminacho ichocho icho. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo, muri kutaura muromo wamanga-manga. Vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi wavanopanduka, mese muchamhanya imi. Muchamhanya imi vanhu kana vapanduka. Kana pfuti dzamuri kutemba nadzo muchadzisiya, nekuti vanhu vanenge vapanduka. Mr. Sanyatwe, vanhu vachakubatai. Richasvika zuva racho iroro. Musafunga kuti hapana zvinomboitika. Aiwa, musaone vanhu vakanyarara vakata mukafunga kuti havasi kuona zvamuri kuita. Vari kuzoona zvese, asi zuva racho richasvika. Kana rasvika zuva racho iroro, vazhinji venyu vachamhanya. Ende vanosara vari muno vachaenda kumajeri nenyaya dzamuri kuita dzekudzvinyirira vanhu. Mari yenyika ichibiwa, imi muchisapota izvozvo. Nekuti muri ZANU. ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro. Vanhu ndo vanotonga, ende vanhu vachatonga. Musambozvikanganwa izvozvo. Musazvikanganwe kuti vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. musi uchapanduka, vanhu vazhinji venyu vachatiza, vachabuda munyika, ende vanosara vari munyika muno vachaenda kumajeri. Mr. Sanyatwe, musazvikanganwe izvozvo, musambozvikanganwa zvenyu muchifunga kuti hanzi hatichagara apa forever. Hamupagara apa forever. Yeah. People are coming for you and they will get you. Vanhu vachauya vari kukutsvagai, vanhu vari vakamirira zuva racho chete. Zuva racho richasvika rokuti vanhu vese vachatsamwa, vachabuda mudzimba, ende imi muchatiza. Mr. Sanyatwe, muchatiza namunangagwa wenyu ari kudzvinyirira vanhu, muchatiza mese vanhu vezanu, muchatiza. Musazikanganwe izvozvo, tiri kukuyambirai. Chinobhuruka chinomhara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Chese chisingaperi chinoshura, hapana chisingaperi kunze kwaMwari. Ndiye chete, ndiye musika akatisika tese, ndiye anotonga, ndiye anoziva kuti redu ramangwana rakamira sei. Saka imi musazozvikanganwa kuti kuna Mwari. Muri kuzoona muri kuzviita vana Mwari imimi. Muri kuzviita vana Mwari. Mwari ariko, ari kukuonai zvamuri kuita nana munangagwa wenyu ivava. Muchamhanya chete, Mr. Sanyatwe. Muchamhanya chete, muchida musingade muchamhanya chete. Muromo wenyu yamuri kutaura kuti hazani ichatonga. Zvichapera zvese izvi. Zvichapera. Zvichapera, Mr. Sanyatwe. Ndakutaurirai kuti muchamhanya chete. Muchida musingadi muchamhanya. Ndapedza. Vasanyatwe, kana kuti ndimi muri kunzi Army General Sanyatwe, muromo wamuri kutaura uyu, muri kutaura makamira papi? Nhaiva Sanyatwe, muri ami yaani? Muri ami yamunangagwa here kana kuti muri ami yevanhu? Kana muchitaura muromo wamuri kutaura kuti ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen, muri kureveiko naye Vasanyatwe? Mari yamuri kutambira iyo taxpayers money. Vanhu vari kukutambirisai, haisi mari yamunangagwa kwete, imari yevanhu ivavo vamuri kutyizira. Muchivatyizira nekuti imimi muri musoja. Hazvishande zvichidaro. Kuti muve pachigaro ipapapa, muri suppose kunge muri ami yevanhu, muchichengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nemapati ematongerwo enyika kwete. Muromo muri kutaurawo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Muri kutaura makamira papi naye imi ami komanda imi? Muri kuziva here zvamuri kutaura? Mari yamuri kudya iyi kumba kwenyu imari yamuri kubhadharwa nevanhu, hamusi kubhadharwa namunangagwa. Taxpayers money, ende vanhu vamuri kutyizira ivava ndo vari kukubhadharai. Makutaura miromo yemangamanga, maguta. Maguta manje mari yevanhu, muri kutaura muromo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatongai muchida musingadi. Makamirira ani naye imi? Muri ami yaaniko? Muri ami yamunangagwa here kana kuti muri ami yevanhu? Munopenga here imi Mr. Sanyatwe? Munopenga here? Ndokupi makambonzwa zvichinzi masoja anopindira matongerwo enyika? Kuno kwatiri kuAmerica masoja hataure nezvematongerwo enyika. Imimi makazviwana kupi? Nekuti makagadzikwa ipapa namunangagwa mudzvinyirira ari kudzvinyirira vanhu. Ndosaka muri kutaura muromo iwoyu. ende muri kukanganwa kuti mari yamuri kutambira imari iri kubva kuvanhu, haisi mari yaMunangagwa. Munangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapo, haasi kukutambirisai anything. Aiwa, mari yamuri kutambira imari yevanhu vamuri kutyidzira ivavo, muchivatyidzira kuti ZANU ichatonga. Makamirira kupi? Makamirira ZANU kana kuti makamirira vanhu? Mr. Sanyatwe, muri suppose kunge muchimirira vanhu, muri ami yevanhu, hamusi ami yaMunangagwa kwete. Munangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapa, kana makaiswa pachigaro hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchidzinyirira vanhu, munofanirwa kuonekwa muchiprotekta vanhu. Munangagwa mudzinyiriri, ndiye wamakumira naye muchitanzi ZANU ichatonga musingade muchida. Muri kutaura chiiko kana muchityidzira vanhu nemuromo yamuri kutaura naye imimi? Hamunyari here? Mumborani pamuri ipapa? Mumborani? Kana vanhu vakati havachakudai nhasi, munokwanisa kuenda. Mr. Sanyatwe, muchatiza pachigaro ipapa pavanhu kana vapanduka. Munobatiza nemiromo yamuri kutaura iyi, munoikanganwa maakutiza. Kana vanhu vapanduka, muchatiza chete, muchida musingadi. Mr. Sanyatwe, muri kushandiswa imi neZANU, muri kushandiswa kudzinyirira vanhu, muchitaura miromo yakadari yekutyidzira vanhu kuti ZANU ichakutongai chete, muchida musingadi. Mumboraniko imimi? Mari yevanhu, vanhu ndo vari kukutambirisai mari yamuri kudya kumba kwenyu. Maguta manje maakutanga kutaura zvisina nebasa rose, kutaura madhodha amuri kutaura iwaya. Hamunyari here munhu mukuru? Munopavha chete musingadi, muchida musingadi, muchatopa, munopatiza chete. Vamwe venyu tichaona vachikwira ndege kutiza vanhu kana vapanduka. Vanhu vachakupandukirai, Mr. Sanyatwe, vachakupandukirai vanhu. Chinobhururuka chinomara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo. Muromo muri kutaura Mr. Sanyatwe, hamufanirwe kunge uchitaurwa nemi. Kana muri masoja, muri masoja evanhu, hamusi masoja epati imi. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nepati kwete. Muri masoja evanhu, muripo kuchengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Ende vanhu ava ndo vari kukutambirisai mari pachigaro chaminacho ichocho icho. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo, muri kutaura muromo wamanga-manga. Vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi wavanopanduka, mese muchamhanya imi. Muchamhanya imi vanhu kana vapanduka. Kana pfuti dzamuri kutemba nadzo muchadzisiya, nekuti vanhu vanenge vapanduka. Mr. Sanyatwe, vanhu vachakubatai. Richasvika zuva racho iroro. Musafunga kuti hapana zvinomboitika. Aiwa, musaone vanhu vakanyarara vakati mukafunga kuti havasi kuona zvamuri kuita. Vari kuzoona zvese, asi zuva racho richasvika. Kana rasvika zuva racho iroro, vazhinji venyu vachamhanya, ende vanosara vari muno vachaenda kumajeri nenyaya dzamuri kuita dzekudzinyirira vanhu. Mari yenyika ichibiwa, imi muchisapota izvozvo izvo, nekuti muri ZANU. ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro. Vanhu ndo vanotonga, ende vanhu vachatonga. Musambozvikanganwa izvozvo. Musazvikanganwe kuti vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi uchapanduka vanhu, vazhinji venyu vachatiza, vachabuda munyika, ende vanosara vari munyika muno vachaenda kumajeri. Mr. Sanyatwe, musazvikanganwe izvozvo, musambozvikanganwa zvenyu muchifunga kuti hanzi hatichagara apa forever. Hamupagara apa forever. Yeah. People are coming for you and they will get you. Vanhu vachauya vari kukutsvagai, vanhu vari vakamirira zuva racho chete. Zuva racho richasvika rokuti vanhu vese vachatsamwa, vachabuda mudzimba, ende imi muchatiza, Mr. Sanyatwe. Muchatiza namunangagwa wenyu ari kudzvinyirira vanhu. Muchatiza mese vanhu vezano. Muchatiza. Musazikanganwe izvozvo. Tiri kukuyambirai. Chinobhuruka chinomhara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Chese chisingaperi chinoshura. Hapana chisingaperi kunze kwaMwari. Ndiye chete, ndiye musika akatisika tese, ndiye anotonga, ndiye anoziva kuti redu ramangwana rakamira sei. Saka imi musazozvikanganwa kuti kuna Mwari. Muri kuzoona muri kuzviita vana Mwari imimi. Muri kuzviita vana Mwari. Mwari ariko, ari kukuonai zvamuri kuita nana munangagwa wenyu ivava. Muchamhanya chete, Mr. Sanyatwe. Muchamhanya chete, muchida musingade muchamhanya chete. Miromo yenyu yamuri kutaura kuti hazani ichatonga. Zvichapera zvese izvi. Zvichapera. Zvichapera, Mr. Sanyatwe. Ndakutaurirai kuti muchamhanya chete. Muchida musingade muchamhanya. Ndapedza. Vasanyatwe, kana kuti ndimi muri kunzi Army General Sanyatwe. Muromo wamuri kutaura uyu, muri kutaura makamira papi? Naiva Sanyatwe. Muri army yaani, muri army yamunangagwa here, kana kuti muri army yevanhu? Kana muchitaura muromo wamuri kutaura kuti ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen, muri kureveiko naiva Sanyatwe? Mari yamuri kutambira iyo taxpayers money. Vanhu vari kukutambirisai. Haisi mari yamunangagwa kwete, imari yevanhu ivavo vamuri kutyizira. Muchivatyizira nekuti imimi muri musoja. Hazvishande zvichidaro. Kuti muve pachigaro ipapa muri suppose kunge muri army yevanhu, muchichengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nemapati ematongerwo enyika kwete. Muromo muri kutaurawo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Muri kutaura makamira papi naimi army commander imi? Muri kuziva here zvamuri kutaura? Mari yamuri kudya iyi kumba kwenyu imari yamuri kubhadharwa nevanhu, hamusi kubhadharwa namunangagwa. Taxpayers money, ende vanhu vamuri kutyizira ivava ndo vari kukubhadharai. Makutaura miromo yemangamanga, maguta. Maguta manje mari yevanhu, muri kutaura miromo kuti hanzi ZANU ichatongai muchida musingadi. Makamirira ani naimi? Muri army yaaniko? Muri army yamunangagwa here kana kuti muri army yevanhu? Munopenga here imi Mr. Sanyatwe? Munopenga here? Ndokupi makambonzwa zvichinzi masoja anopindira matongerwo enyika? Kuno kwatiri kuAmerica masoja hatauri nezvematongerwo enyika. Imimi makazviwana kupi? Nekuti makagadzikwa ipapa namunangagwa mudzvinyirira ari kudzvinyirira vanhu. Ndosaka muri kutaura muromo iwoyo. Ende muri kukanganwa kuti mari yamuri kutambira imari iri kubva kuvanhu, haisi mari yamunangagwa. Munangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapo, haasi kukutambirisai anything. Aiwa, mari yamuri kutambira imari yevanhu vamuri kutyizira ivavo, muchivatyizira kuti ZANU ichatonga. Makamirira kupi? Makamirira ZANU kana kuti makamirira vanhu? Mr. Sanyatwe, muri suppose kunge muchimirira vanhu, muri army yevanhu, hamusi army yaMnangagwa kwete. Mnangagwa akakuisai pachigaro ipapa, kana makaiswa pachigaro hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchidzvinyirira vanhu, munofanirwa kuonekwa muchiprotecta vanhu. Mnangagwa mudzvinyiriri, ndiye wamakumira naye muchitanzi ZANU ichatonga musingade muchida. Muri kutaura chiiko kana muchityidzira vanhu nemuromo yamuri kutaura naye imimi? Hamunyare here? Mumborani pamuri ipapa? Mumborani? Kana vanhu vakati havachakudai nhasi, munokwanisa kuenda. Mr. Sanyatwe, muchatiza pachigaro ipapa vanhu kana vapanduka. Munobatiza nemiromo yamuri kutaura iyi, munoikanganwa maakutiza. Kana vanhu vapanduka, muchatiza chete, muchida musingadi. Mr. Sanyatwe, muri kushandiswa imi neZANU, muri kushandiswa kudzvinyirira vanhu, muchitaura miromo yakadari yekutyidzira vanhu kuti ZANU ichakutongai chete, muchida musingadi. Mumboraniko imimi? Mari yevanhu, vanhu ndo vari kukutambirisai mari yamuri kudya kumba kwenyu uku. Maguta manje maakutanga kutaura zvisina nebasa rose, kutaura madhodhi amuri kutaura iwaya. Hamunyare here munhu mukuru? Munopavha chete musingadi, muchida musingadi, muchatopa, munopatiza chete. Vamwe venyu tichaona vachikwira ndege kutiza vanhu kana vapanduka. Vanhu vachakupandukirai, Mr. Sanyatwe, vachakupandukirai vanhu. Chinobhururuka chinobara, chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo. Muromo muri kutaura Mr. Sanyatwe hamufanirwe kunge uchitaurwa nemi. Kana muri masoja, muri masoja evanhu, hamusi masoja epati imi. Hamufanirwe kuonekwa muchimira nepati kwete. Muri masoja evanhu, muripo kuchengetedza upenyu hwevanhu. Ende vanhu ava ndo vari kukutambirisai mari pachigaro chaminacho ichocho icho. Musazvikanganwe izvozvo, muri kutaura muromo wamanga-manga. Vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi wavanopanduka, mese muchamhanya imi. Muchamhanya imi vanhu kana vapanduka. Kana pfuti dzamuri kutemba nadzo muchadzisiya, nekuti vanhu vanenge vapanduka. Mr. Sanyatwe, vanhu vachakubatai. Richasvika zuva racho iroro. Musafunga kuti hapana zvinomboitika. Aiwa, musaone vanhu vakanyarara vakata mukafunga kuti havasi kuona zvamuri kuita. Vari kuzoona zvese, asi zuva racho richasvika. Kana rasvika zuva racho iroro, vazhinji venyu vachamhanya, ende vanosara vari muno vachaenda kumajeri nenyaya dzamuri kuita dzekudzvinyirira vanhu. Mari yenyika ichibiwa, imi muchisapota izvozvo, nekuti muri ZANU. ZANU ichatonga kusvikira amen. Hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro. Vanhu ndo vanotonga, ende vanhu vachatonga. Musambozvikanganwa izvozvo. Musazvikanganwe kuti vanhu ndo chombo chikuru. Musi uchapanduka, vanhu vazhinji venyu vachatiza, vachabuda munyika, ende vanosara vari munyika muno vachaenda kumajeri. Mr. Sanyatwe, musazvikanganwe izvozvo, musambozvikanganwa zvenyu muchifunga kuti hanzi hatichagara apa forever. Hamupagara apa forever. People are coming for you and they will get you. Vanhu vachauya vari kukutsvagai, vanhu vari vakamirira zuva racho chete. Zuva racho richasvika rekuti vanhu vese vachatsamwa vachabuda mudzimba ende imi muchatiza misasanyatwe muchatiza namunangagwa wenyu ari kudzvinyirira vanhu muchatiza mese vanhu vezano muchatiza musazikanganwe izvozvo tiri kukuyambirai chinobhuruka chinomhara chinofamba nemudenga chinodzoka pasi chese chisingaperi chinoshura hapana chisingaperi kunze kwamwari ndiye chete ndiye musika akatisika tese ndiye anotonga ndiye anoziva kuti redu ramangwana rakamira sei saka imi musazozikanganwa kuti kuna mwari muri kuzoona muri kuzviita vana mwari imimi muri kuzviita vana mwari mwari ariko ari kukuonai zvamuri kuita nana munangagwa wenyu ivavo muchamhanya chete misasanyata muchamhanya chete muchida musingade muchamhanya chete muromo wenyu yamuri kutaura kuti hazanu ichatonga zvichapera zvese izvi zvichapera misasanyatwe ndakutaurirai kuti muchamhanya chete muchida musingade muchamhanya ndapedza vasanyatwe kana kuti ndimi muri kunzi army general sanyatwe muromo wamuri kutaura uyu muri kutaura makamira papi nhaiva sanyatwe muri ami yaani muri ami yamunangagwa here kana kuti muri ami yevanhu kana muchitaura muromo wamuri kutaura kuti zanu ichatonga kusvikira amen muri kureveiko nhai vasanyatwe mari yamuri kutambira iyo itaxpayers money vanhu vari kukutambirisai haisi mari yamunangagwa kwete imari yevanhu ivavo vamuri kutyidzira muchivatyidzira nekuti imi
kana pane mari maigonobva watanga kunetsa uda kuramba uchifona wada ndiri kunamibia ndakauya for something else kunampawa nezvandiri kuita kunoku. I will be back Friday 1 hour asati ndaona proof yo ndaiforward. Can we just wait and hear from them vabhadhara then tobva tataura right ndaona mari yakati yenyu mari iyi. Zvinhu zvese kana pangoni mari you want to start a war, that's not very good behavior. Relaxa. I know you want money, I also want money too, but just learn to relax. Kana pane mari watoita emotional watangada kuti kufona ma 3 4 5 missed calls how far, that's not good. You must change that attitude if at all we're going to continue working together. We can't have the same problem all the time. Wakati mari yakati the last time I said handikupei kana send pamari kune imwe mari iri kutouya kana muchikwanisa kuimisei. That's the last conversation we had tiri paairport muchiti ndikati kutori neimwe iri kuuya musiri kuziya kana yauya da kuona kuti munogona kuimisa here imisei izvozvi. That's what I said. Anobva ndakati ichangopinda mari ndobva ndakupai proof ndobva ndazoti I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. And this is the first lot mari dzitu. The first lot hapana kana profit, there's nothing because we have to match the price yema 10 sekulobatse. Saka there's really nothing here. Don't even raise your hopes and don't even be disappointed. The other money, yes, there's reasonable profit.
Alosiwo azirotoda mari strike but kana takatextawo ka takafonawo kazoda kungoanswa zopindurwawo kuti ungofamba handi ndima itaura nyaya yecommunicate kuti amana ngatigare tichionana tichicommunicate but imi makanyararawo kana papiwawo maproof emari zvinoreva kuti chiyai tinozotadza kunzwisisa kuti komu wedu pesa patanga tichipindurana but pakabuda mari anobva anyarara endewo pakabuda mari iye mumwe wedu anobva atoda kuti titange taita hondo chete kuti imwe izobuda totozosvika pakutaurana nekuma-airport nechiichii ndozvinhu zvinge zvisiri zvakanaka nokuti mari yakabuda tongogara tangoziva kuti muzi uri kuona sendi maiki kuona sendi topedza takadaro even isati yabuda takagara tichingoziva mafigures ari kubuda mari ingoni imimi makatisainisa 17 million agreement kuti mamwedu tozoti mari yenyu imari iyi yekuzongojumwa inotinetsa sei. Ipapo tofanira kutaurirana chokwadi. Tatenda. Thank you. Have a good day. Tikuone Friday mauya.
Good morning, members. South Africa has received the money and they said that good morning, members. South Africa has received the money and they said that they want to start off with payments for the 1 million to Beta Brands, which is what we had signed the contract for. Then after the holiday, we've been able to engage them because we had agreed to top 7 days. Marisa zovanetsa money laundering aid kuti vaitenge as if vari kumhanya stere kuda kubudisa mari. Saka for Easter purposes ndaisa pressure kuti ashama tisirewo 1 million edu at least timbotanga kumhanya. So as agreed, Scott totora 350, inini 150, Mike 150, Mpofu 150, then Mom's were to up 100, DG to up 100 to make a total of 1 million and 150 by 4 is 600. Then Scott 200 yake to make 800. To work as a 30. Scott takes 350. Posara 650. 650. Momzana oyo 100. Posara 450. 450 to split 33. 150. Saka mari yese ikaenda 18 million rands account kwa Scott. It's a new account yakavhura last month. Inonofrizwa FNB ko. So can you send me my bank accounts yenyu? Mpofu yake, Mike yake, timboti dzitwe mwakusina naye dzodzo ma 150 wayo ndoisirwa yangu. Then the rest we talk next week. Yeah, okay. Can that please send them as soon as possible? Thank you. Asida involvement yano akawanda panyaya yempofu. I'm very disappointed. Une dzungu rimwe risingaite. Ana Chief Jose wakunoudza, mumwe wako akadai, chino nechino. Chief Jose is my best friend from 1992. ungandidaro shuwa kuenda kunoshanda nana mupofu ndiri stuck zvandakaita izvi ndikudza kuti vanhu havakandikanya panyaya yembudzi vada kuti vari kundithreatena woenda kunoshanda nampofu. I told you let's do this privately, but you are going all over the show saying all sorts of things, all sorts of threats. Hazvipere mushe hatisi mboziva kuti simba racho raona rabva rawanda stereki sei. And to be honest, even zvese zvemakambani ako zveprinting zvese, to be honest, I'm not even interested. I want us to finish this next week, topedza, then we shake hands, aziya kwake aziya kwake, because this is pointless. I'm saying we are teaching shamwari. I have an opportunity. Nachifunga kuti uchaita zvematende zvako, waita zvematende mukoto mukontrolo ikoko moitawo mari yenyu, munozoti iyo tichakupa yakati. Handingapindire zvamuri kuita nemapartners enyu amuri kuita ikoko. But then you are causing a big man. Vanisi kana kuti kubroka, kana kuti chii kuri kupa that excitement, kana kuti disrespect. I don't understand. 2 minutes wafona pa, 2 minutes wadai, 2 minutes wadai. Why are you involving ana Jose? Wapinda papi? Why can't you be calm, sakamarada? Hana kana zvakutaura na anyone. I'm just disappointed. And sorry to say, I do. I'm no longer interested because it's not worth my while. Ndakushungurudzwa ndakuthreatenwa every 2 minutes hazvipere mushe. Hey zvakati. Shamari, I don't work with people who threaten me. Ndoshanda nelove, tichiwirirana, tichionesana, tichikuudza mafacts. I prefer munhu improve your argument. Don't raise your voice at me. Handisi mwana wako. Improve your argument. Taura mafacts. Say apa yemutaura chokwadi, but ino point yangu ndeine apa aure say zvese zvemataura chokwadi, tachikumbura mukadai apa mukadai. What do you think kuti kadai kuti 2 minutes hazvipere mushe. Haina, handisi munhu wejambanja. I've lived that life ndikaisiya. Ndiri munhu webusiness. I sit in boardrooms totaurirana zvakanaka and people shake hands. Kana tadza kuwirirana, whoever has the final say makes the decision. If people think that, no, this is the last job, right? They say it's still okay. Hapana problem. We're still friends, you know. It's just disappointing. Anyway, nditumire my banking details as fast as possible. Thank you.
Hello?
Hey, audio famba sema nje mana yanetsa kai.
Ndiano?
Audio yenyu kutendera matenda.
Ndiana sana.
Say with no.
Ndiano?
Ndisimbachkanza. Muri kuzvambisa sei kune audio yenyu matenda yo, mabvuma kapo muri kudya mari dzematenda.
Fake news. Now they are not ones who are not doing that.
Audio kutendera muri kutaura iyo kuti you are now closer to number 1.
Good morning, members. South Africa has received the money, and they said that they want to start off with payments for the 1 million to Beta Brands, which is what we had signed the contract for. Then after the holiday, we've been able to engage them because we had agreed to top 7 days. Marisa zovanetsa nemoney laundering act kuti vaitenge as if vari kumhanya stere kuda kuburitsa mari. Saka for Easter purposes ndaisa pressure kuti ashama tisire 1 million edi at least timbotanga kumhanya. So as agreed, Scott totora 350, inini 150, Mike 150, Mpofu 150, then Momzo yatoapa 100, DG toapa 100 to make a total of 1 million, and 150 by 4 is 600. Then Scott 200 yake to make 800. Tuweka sawa. 30. Scott takes 350. Posara 650. 650. Mom's on oil 100. Posara 450. 450 to split 33, 150 150 150. Saka mari yese ikaenda 18 million rands paaccount kwasiko kuti the new account yakavhura last month inonofrizwa weFNB ko. So can you send me my bank accounts enyu, mpofu yake, mike yake, timboti dzitwe mwakusiyana naye idzodzo ma 150 wayo ndoisirwa yangu, then the rest we talk next week. Yeah, okay, can that please send them as soon as possible. Thank you. Asida involvement yavanhu vakawanda panyaya yempofu. I'm very disappointed. Une dzungu rimwe risingaite. Ana Chief Jose wakunoudza mumwe wako akadai chino nechino. Chief Jose is my best friend from 1992. Ungandidaro shuwa kuenda unoshanda naMpofu ndiri stuck zvandakaita izvi. Ndikuti vanhu vakandikanya panyaya yembudzi vada kuti vari kundithreatena. Woenda unoshanda naMpofu. I told you, let's do this privately. But you are going all over the show saying all sorts of things, all sorts of threats. Hazvipere mushe. Hatizimboziva kuti simba racho raona rabva rawanda stereki sei. And to be honest, even zvese zvemakambani ako zveprinting zvese, to be honest, I'm not even interested. I want us to finish this next week, topedza, then we shake hands. Aziya kwake aziya kwake, because this is pointless. I'm saying we are teaching shamwari. I have an opportunity. Nachifunga kuti uchaita zvematende zvako, waita zvematende mukoto mucontrol ikoko moitawo mari yenyu, munozoti iwe tichakupa yakati. Handingapindire zvamuri kuita nemapartners enyu amuri kuita ikoko. But then you are causing a big man. Vanozikana kuti kubroka kana kuti chii kuri kupa that excitement kana kuti disrespect. I don't understand. 2 minutes wafona pa, 2 minutes wadai, 2 minutes wadai. Why are you involving ana Jose? Wapinda papi? Why can't you be calm, sakamarada? Anangana zvakutaura na anyone. I'm just disappointed. And sorry to say, I do. I'm no longer interested because it's not worth my while. Ndakutanga ndakushungurudzwa ndakuthreatenwa every 2 minutes azvipere mushe. Hey zvakati. Shamari. I don't work with people who threaten me. Ndoshanda nelove. Tichiwirirana, tichionesana, tichikuudza mafacts. I prefer munhu improve your argument. Don't raise your voice at me. Handisi mwana wako. Improve your argument. Taura mafacts. Say apa mutaura chokwadi, but no point yangu ndeiyi. Apa auri say zvese zvemataura chokwadi. Tachikumbura mukadai. What do you think? Kuti kadai. Kuti 2 minutes hazvipere mushe. Haina handisi munhu wejambanja. I've lived that life ndikaisiya. Ndiri munhu webusiness. I sit in boardrooms totaurirana zvakanaka and people shake hands. Kanatadza kuwirirana, whoever has the final say makes the decision. If people think that this is the last job, they say it's still okay. Hapana problem. We're still friends, you know. It's just disappointing. Anyway, determine my banking details as fast as possible. Thank you.
Hello?
Hey, audio famba sema nje mana yanetsa kai?
Ndiano?
Audio yenyu kutendera matenda.
Ndiana tara.
Say with no.
Ndiano?
Ndisibachikanza. Muri kuzvifambisa sei kune audio yenyu matenda yo? Mabvuma kapo muri kudya mari dzematenda.
Fake news. Now ndiana bonzwana ndikuzilela.
Audio kutendera muri kutaura iyo kuti mimi you are now closer to number 1.
Good morning, members. South Africa has received the money, and they said that they want to start off with payments for the 1 million to Beta Brands, which is what we had signed the contract for. Then after the holiday, we've been able to engage them because we had agreed to top 7 days. Marisa zovanetsa nemoney laundering act kuti vaitenge as if vari kumhanya stere kuda kuburitsa mari. Saka for Easter purposes ndaisa pressure kuti ashama tisire 1 million edi at least timbotanga kumhanya. So as agreed, Scott totora 350, inini 150, Mike 150, Mpofu 150, then Moms were to up 100, DG to up 100 to make a total of 1 million. And 150 by 4 is 600. Then Scott 200 yake to make 800. To work as 30. Scott takes 350. Posara 650. 650. Moms on all 100. Posara 450. 450 to split 33. 150, 150, 150. Saka mari yese ikaenda 18 million rands kuaccount kwaScott. It's a new account yakavhura last month. Inonofrizwa weFNB ko. So can you send me my bank accounts enyu? Mpofu yake, Mike yake. Timboti dzitwe mwakusiyana naye idzodzo ma 150 wayo ndoisirwa yangu. Then the rest we talk next week. Yeah, okay. Can that please send them as soon as possible? Thank you. Asida involvement yavanhu vakawanda panyaya yempofu. I'm very disappointed. Une dzungu rimwe risingaite. Ana Chief Jose wakunoudza, hey, mumwe wako akadai, hey, chino nechino. Hey, Chief Jose is my best friend from 1992. Ungandidaro shuwa kuenda unoshanda nana Mpofu ndiri stuck zvandakaita izvi. Ndikudza kuti vanhu ava vakandikanya panyaya yembudzi vada vari kundithreatena. Woenda unoshanda nana Mpofu. I told you, let's do this privately. But you are going all over the show saying all sorts of things, all sorts of threats. Hazviperemushe. Hatizimboziva kuti simba racho raona rabva rawanda stereki sei. And to be honest, even zvese zvemakambani ako zveprinting zvese, to be honest, I'm not even interested. I want us to finish this next week, topedza, then we shake hands. Aziya kwake aziya kwake. Because this is pointless. I'm saying we are teaching shamwari. I have an opportunity. Nachifunga kuti uchaita zvematende zvako, waita zvematende mukoto mucontrol ikoko moitawo mari yenyu, munozoti iwe tichakupa yakati. Handingapindire zvamuri kuita nemapartners enyu amuri kuita ikoko. But then you are causing a big man. Vanozvi kana kuti kubroka, kana kuti chii kuri kupa that excitement, kana kuti disrespect. I don't understand. 2 minutes wafona pa, 2 minutes wadai, 2 minutes wadai. Why are you involving ana Jose? Wapinda papi? Why can't you be calm, sakamarada? Hana kana zvakutaura na anyone. I'm just disappointed. And sorry to say, I do. I'm no longer interested. Because it's not worth my while. Every 2 minutes hey shamari, I don't work with people who threaten me. Ndoshanda nelove, tichiwirirana, tichionesana, tichikudza mafacts. I prefer improve your argument. Don't raise your voice at me and this monoko. Improve your argument. Taura mafacts. Say apa yemutaura chokwadi, but ino point yangu ndeine apa auri say zvese zvemataura chokwadi, tachikumbura mukadai apa mukadai. What do you think kuti kadai kuti 2 minutes hazvipere mushe. Haina handisi munhu wejambanja. I've lived that life ndikaisiya. Ndiri munhu webusiness. I sit in boardrooms totaurirana zvakanaka and people shake hands. Kana tadza kuwirirana, whoever has the final say makes the decision. If people think, no, this is the last job, they say it's still okay. Hapana problem. We're still friends,